The world's best women's sevens players have converged on Japan at a critical phase of the HSBC World Sevens Series. Welcome to Kitakyushu, the fourth of 6 tournaments in this tightly contested season. Let's have a look straight away at the point standings after 3 rounds here in Kitakyushu. New Zealand, USA, Canada and Australia sitting in those all-important top 4 spots. Those are the automatic Olympic qualifying places. Look for Ireland in 6th, starting to creep up. And down the bottom as well, China. If they can repeat their efforts here last year, where they made the quarterfinals, they'll really put some pressure on Fiji and Spain. There are so many permutations and so many ramifications as these world-class athletes take the Sevens showcase around the world. A new season brought with it a new tournament. Glendale, Colorado. New Zealand picked up where they left off.
Portia Woodman showing a lot of fitness. Back-to-back scores for her. Ruby Tui's there. Portia Woodman's there. Ruby Tui's there. You go have it, number 11. You go eat some. The champions, New Zealand.
To Dubai, a traditional stop on the HSBC World Series where it was more of the same from the Kiwis. Broughton extends a lead for New Zealand. Teresa Fitzpatrick, one way then the other, and finds Nathan Wong. That might be the one for New Zealand. The Dubai Sevens trophy back in the hands of the New Zealand team once more. Australia were back in the final at their home tournament in Sydney, but once again New Zealand took the spoils. Quirk's coming across, can she get there? Is Blythe going to have too much gas? Of course she is. Broughton's got Blythe outside her, and Michaela Blythe will go in for a hat-trick in the final. On Australian soil, New Zealand are the HSBC Sydney Sevens champions. Leg 4 brings us to Kitakyushu, Japan, the Olympic hosts in 2020. The penultimate round in Langford, Canada could have a huge impact on the overall fortunes of many teams. Then the series reaches its climax on the French coast in June as the champions are crowned in Biarritz. Let's look at the pools here in Kitakyushu. New Zealand, the defending champions at this tournament, the 2-time defending champions in Pool A alongside France, Russia, and it's a welcome back to World Series tournament for the host nation, Japan. In Pool B, Australia, Canada, Spain and China, who had such a wonderful run here this time last year. And Pool C, my goodness, USA, Ireland, Fiji and England. That is a brutal pool. And it's Pool C where we start with Ireland against Fiji. I'm Ricky Swanell, alongside me, former Australian international Tiana Penatani. Ireland are the team that have been the big improvers. Big expectations on them this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ricky, they made their first ever Cup semi-final in Sydney, their best result all time on the World Series, finishing up in 4th. But Fiji, Ireland, they're well acquainted. They've played each other 15 times. Fiji getting the better end, 7 out of the 15, and Ireland 7 as well, and they've drawn 1. So they're well acquainted with each other. Both teams on par in terms of skill. But I think Fiji need to clean up their offload game, clean up their penalties, because both teams actually conceded the most penalties this season, 61 for Ireland and 54 for Fiji. A great matchup here, first game, day 1.
Very strong, experienced Fiji side, and as we said, this Ireland team absolutely riding a high. They've got just about the same squad that they had in Sydney, where they did reach that semi-final for the first time. Claire Bowles coming in for her first tournament since Glendale. She will get a start. And Megan Burns on debut, the 19-year-old off the bench in jersey 6. Referee, one of the most experienced around, Sarah Cox from England in her 92nd. As we are set to go, game 1, day 1, leg 4 of the HSBC Women's World Rugby Sevens Series coming from Kitakyushu, Japan. Luisa Tisolo sits in midfield for Fiji. Perfect conditions for running sevens. So important for these teams to get a good start on day 1. That's nicely taken down by Louise Galvin. Ireland with the first opportunity to spread and take them on. They're a team playing already full of confidence. Here is Claire Bowles, her first touch in her first tournament since Glendale. Mulhall, the captain in 9, so vital to all they do. Hogan taken down in a good tackle by Fiji. Nice tidy start from both teams so far. There's a good inside ball to the speedster, Murphy Crowe. Are they going to get anywhere near her? I wouldn't have thought so. Amy Lee Murphy Crowe in for the first try of the day.
Well, it's no surprise here. Amy Lee Murphy Crowe, the try-scoring machine for this Irish lineup. She's only 23 years old, but it was the skipper, Lucy Mulhall, that created that try there. They were lateral at first in attack, stayed patient with ball in hand. Lucy Mulhall took the defence to the left, and Amy Lee Murphy Crowe, perfect timing on that switch line to tear through the middle of the field. A clinical start here from Ireland.
Kicks across the face, but Murphy Crowe puts Ireland on the board, 5 points to 0 in the opening minute and a half. Stan McDowell taking over as Ireland coach from Anthony Eddy this weekend. The stats of Murphy Crowe. Hall sends it away. Good accurate kick contested by Galvin, but it's there for Fiji. So first chance for them in attack.
No, you're fine. It's all right. We're just going to go back for the advantage from the knock. Just stay up for me, okay? Okay.
In terms of restarts retained this season, Ireland are up there in the top 3, 20% in total. So great contest. Good pinpoint kicking there from Lucy Mulhall as well.
Let's see what Fiji can create from inside their own territory. A little step down the blind, then a change of direction by Ana Rongitha. Running crossfield as Tesolo. Good tackle now, Naimasi. And on the wraparound, Fiji driving hard tackle by Mulhall. Naimasi gets up and goes again. So it's still there for Fiji, and they get a penalty too. Nice straight defensive line for Ireland at the moment, but we know the danger of Fiji, and look at the effort to get there, to jump on that loose ball and turn defence into attack. Ireland through lane, trying to get to ground at the knees there. Eventually they are. And Fiji try and clear away, and there might be some room here for Ireland down the short side. There is players out wide. Is Galvin back on the inside for Bowles, who's hit hard as she tried to collect it. They've started with a real intent and intensity, Ireland.
There was great intent there from the Fijian defence. Lou Galvin probably should have carried that one. I guess being so close to the try line, you want to look for that support to get an offload away, but urgency from Fiji is what will give them the feed of the scrum.
Claire Bowles, welcome back. She tried to bobble that ball and got hit in a heavy shot. Hogan just a little bit slow to get back and set for the scrum. Pressure on Fiji to exit well.
Crouch, bind, set. Now, wait. Don't get alone.
Rongitha clears. But they're pinned on their own line here and making errors, Fiji. It's just what is so costly in their game, as you mentioned, T.
Yeah, absolutely, and they need to identify that they are in a red zone. They need a big exit play here. Can't afford to be bobbling around with the ball, taking it from one way to the other. They need someone with size to just take it up through the middle.
Crouch.
Oh, wonderful attacking opportunity here for Ireland as Lane will feed 5 metres out from the Fiji line. Big shove coming from Fiji, but it is still there for the team in green. Mulhall skipping it across the line to Eve Higgins. This powerhouse young woman converts for Ireland.
Eve Higgins, she made her series debut in Dubai this season, 2018, but she has been an absolute star for this Irish lineup. Simple hands there, and she bounces off the right foot. She knows she's committed the Fijian defence. They've overturned and that's allowed a nice space for her to run straight under the post.
Kick from in front by the captain, Mulhall, extends Ireland's lead. This is a great start for them. And they lead Fiji 12 points to 0.
You speak of workhorse, Ricky. Series carries 88, which is huge, and she plays full minutes as well, Eve Higgins.
Ball short on the restart this time for Galvin to get up underneath. It is
Not 10.
too short though, didn't go 10. So Fiji with a bit of a wriggle on, and first time really into the Irish half. So they try to create. Savu bouncing out of one and finding player on the outside, skipping through the tackle is Suli Kovidi coming around and cover. They won't be able to get there, and that is the danger of Fiji. One opportunity, one sniff, and they took it.
There was great urgency there off the restart that was short, and Vasidi Solikovidi, so much confidence, but Nangasao taking it into contact, and they love their offloads. It is a high-risk style of play, but when they pull it off, boy, does it work for them. Solikovidi too strong.
Gets Fiji back into this. It's really been all Ireland in the first half. Kick from out wide is just short. Good effort. Fiji on the board through Solikovidi. Make it Ireland 12, Fiji 5. On an error straight away from the restart. It's almost criminal in the game of sevens. Got to get the kickoffs right.
Yeah, it really is. And handing easy possession to a team like Ireland, they've got 100% strike rate so far in this first half.
Here they go again through Mulhall, off to the right this time. A little juggle from Lane. She's strong for a smaller player. It's a good 10 metres, wrestling her way forward, Emily Lane. And now they look to spread again, and slicing through the gap once more is Murphy Crowe. Unstoppable Amy Lee Murphy Crowe.
Whether it's around the edges or through the middle of the field, she does know how to find space, Amy Lee Murphy Crowe. I love the urgency that they play at in attack. They want to speed up their play of the game, and all she had to do was a two-handed carry, get the right fend out. She knows she can just shimmy her way through that gap. Miscommunication there in defence from Fiji, but someone like Amy Lee Murphy Crowe, she'll make you pay.
Mulhall on half-time from out wide. Excellent conversion too from Lucy Mulhall, and Ireland have made a fast start on day one in Kitakyushu, 19-5 at half-time.
Anybody some water? Is that right?
Satu restart dulu kita ya nih atau kan sudah nggak dua, atau kalau cuma sudah dua, nanti kita nggak usah rocukan tu minta, mereka kan bikin tu sahih sini mana lagi, so di mana lo cuma wini, contoh macam sini cuma lama fokus mengom, kata-kata fokus ini mana buat cuma wini, macam ni bawa ni cuma wini, yang kelanya sa, orang mana kita bisa pilih, ini kecilnya maksudnya yang efektif, sudah nombor, tapi kan tu kan tu orang cuma
19-5. Ireland lead at halftime. Good start, but
Right, ready?
Fiji, we know, can score at will. So Stacey Walker starts the second half. Knocked back into Fiji hands. Look to spread. Spread early. These powerful athletes. Savu able to get the offload to the try scorer. Sole Kavidi up over halfway for Fiji. Led by Tisolo. Ireland's line coming across, but there's plenty of room here for Sokowasa. Good defensive line from Ireland. Still there for Fiji. Savu, they're desperate to score first at halftime, trying to get the arms free. It was loose, but it was still there for Naimasi. Planted in midfield, Tesolo, these power athletes. Nangasau, the captain, and then Tesolo again on the wraparound. Another good tackle by Ireland. Murphy Crowe it was that time as the ball is planted and waiting there. Getting forward, Sokowasa, and she's thrown it away, undoing all the good work, and Bowles has done well. She's hit hard in the covering tackle, but Fiji have blown over the top, and surely it must open up for them here. For Anna Maria Naimasi, that went one way and the other, and Fiji do strike first after half-time.
Well, I initially thought they were in hot water there, Fiji, but it was the great work from Savu and Anna Rongifa wearing the number 8 jersey at the breakdown, identifying they had the numbers. Here it is here. Strong contact there from Sokowasa. And there was the blow through the ruck from Savu, using her body weight, using her strength. And Anna Maria Naimasi comes away with the points. But Fiji, they can be so dangerous. In Sydney, we saw them 93% success in opposition 22 when they actually get there. So we know that they can be lethal when they've got ball in hand, but it's a matter of just retaining that possession.
Kicks away. Fiji score first after the break. Ireland leading 19-10. We saw after the first try, the restart wasn't a great one from Fijiana.
Okay,
need to nail this. Tesolo sends it down. It's a good kick. It's a tricky one for Galvin, who is very definite in that she did not get a touch on that, Louise Galvin.
There's great initial pressure there from Fiji. You can see the desperation and the line speed chasing that restart. They've got the height advantage over Ireland here, so they will contest this line out.
Important throw for Lane. Nails it, good target. It's Galvin that she found. We saw Fiji struggle to exit earlier, but Ireland are making a good fist of it because they've got it straight into the hands of the speedster Murphy Crowe. She's got two already. Good tackle on her by Tesolo, but Ireland recycle quickly. Ball bouncing around, picked up well by Hogan. Good covering play by Brittany Hogan. Galvin. Now some space out wide for Bowles. Inside ball is there. Fiji can't keep it in play though. Bowles, Claire Bowles did really well. She was heading to touch, flung the ball back in. Sometimes that can go awry, but it worked well.
It was great urgency once again there from Savu, making one-on-one contact, but Bowles, she did so well to keep the ball in play.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no problem.
Coaches ringing in some changes as well. Derval Nikavad in jersey 12 out there for Ireland now.
Okay. Right, stay on the mark, please. Stay there. Okay, turn back on.
Great field position here for Ireland if they can hit this line out again. Lane's been good so far, and once more she does so, sending it away to the captain, Mulhall, happy to take on the line, Murphy Crowe, and then room out wide for Hannah Tyrrell, the long legs of Hannah Tyrrell, the big strides, and Tyrrell is in, first touch of the ball.
Well, Ireland, they're looking sharp here in Kitakyushu. Try scorers all over the park, and All it is simple draw and pass, engage a defender, and create that overlap. Hannah Tyrrell, I love when she opens up in space, the long stride, determination on the face.
Well, we are seeing an Ireland team that has grown and grown in confidence, but also well-drilled, good skills, speedsters, the whole lot at the moment in Ireland. 24 points to 10. It's been such a good time for Irish Sevens, of course, with the work of their men in Hong Kong taking out the qualifier to join the World Series, and the women's side really leading the way, looking to replicate the Sydney semi, if not better. Hall, that's going to be short. It's going to curl back in the wind. There's a little bit of a breeze here on the edge of the water in Kitakyushu. Fiji need to strike quickly. Rokono. There's an error, it's gone backwards, says referee Cox, so they play on, and here's some of the power and some of the strength of Fiji up through the middle. Ball's offloaded, it hit the referee on the way through. No, it didn't. Backwards it goes, so still play on for Fiji. Ball out the back for Savu. It's a little bit untidy, and then the error comes, the knock on, and that might allow Ireland to try and turn defence quickly into attack. Tyrrell. And now space to burn for Ireland. There's plenty of clear territory. Good covering defence. It's shoveled out the back to Mulhall. And then Nikavard puts a little goose step on. Wants to take on T-Night. Devil Nikavard. Fiji turn it over. Back we go. A lot of ball in play. Have to break out from on their own goal line. Skipping out of one. That's a great covering tackle by Louise Galvin, I think it was, yeah, in 11. And earns her team a penalty as well.
It was Mero Alasi Rokuono. She was taken to ground, and, well, the ref said she didn't clear release, but it looked a bit touch and go there.
McGann onto the field for Ireland. Anna McGann, just her second tournament, then straight through the middle. Put another one down for Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe.
Well, who else other than Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe? She bags herself a hat-trick in the first game on day one here in Kitakyushu. And was great identification there from Murphy-Crowe to see no one marking the back of that ruck. There were no defenders, no pillars right or left. And that's a perfect opportunity for a speedster to just tuck the ball under the wing and head down.
The captain, Lucy Mulhall, puts a bow on the statement performance from Ireland first up. Absolutely emphatic to beat Fiji 31 points to 10 in the opening game in Kitakyushu.
Ireland wins with the score of 31-2.
And this lady, when she's come on, she has made an impact, that's for sure.
She's undoubtedly been a highlight for this USA lineup.
Away goes Ilona Marr, and this for a hat trick.
When she gets that ball in hand, she is powerful and absolutely unstoppable.
The crowd is loving that from Marr.
She's got more and more.
Just take our time. You might repeat it just so that communications.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kitakyushu in the sun, in the south of Japan, where the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series moves into the back 9 of the tournament and heads for home. As you can see, plenty of points to play for. Pool C going to be hotly contested, epitomised by this match now as the USA step out against England. As you can see, they've played each other in Denver and Dubai already this season, with England tipping it twice, but only just. It is certainly going to be a tight match to start with. There's the starting sevens. The big name back in USA ranks. That's Alif Kelter wearing 5. Missed out in Sydney, but back in the mix for the USA. For England, well, watch out for Celia Kwanzaa wearing 8 in her first season for England and really beginning to find her feet and find her form for James Bailey's side. Well, I'm delighted to have World Rugby Hall of Famer Phaedra Knight alongside me for this one. When you look at the history, you realise how tight this one's going to be, Phaedra. You look at their faces, you know how much it's going to mean.
Absolutely, Simon. It's going to be a tight one, but I think the key to the success of the U.S. in this match is to not be tight and to play freely and just uninhibited, not be too hard on themselves. And for England, it's really to maintain possession. They've got to maintain possession in order to build an attack that's going to be successful. So I'm very excited about this match. It's going to be a good one.
It's been a long wait as well. You think 10 weeks back to Sydney. Yeah, they've played in tournaments in France since, but in terms of this World Series, it's been quite a while waiting to get their engine back in the gears. There's Amy Perrett. Good to see her back on the park again. She returned in Sydney, having given birth to her first offspring, well, just over a year ago now. But one of the top referees in the game, taking control of this one. There is Alif Kelter. Played 25 consecutive matches before she missed Sydney. Just took some time out after Dubai to just revitalise and go again. Such a big season, of course, with Olympic qualification in the mix as well. So USA against England, their first footing into Kitakyushu 2019, and the bounce works really well for Nicole Evelyn. The USA co-captain making the most of that opportunity, and the USA making the most of this initial possession and position to try and go hard again. Passing just not working out there for Naya Tapper.
Yeah, hands a little bit slippery, if you will. Probably a little bit of nerves for Naya, but you know, taking a look, really close in proximity pass from Mattias, but yeah, she'll definitely want to correct that. Just a little nerves, nothing to be worried about.
Tapper, of course, went past Victoria Folayan's try record in Sydney, so the prime try poacher from an Eagles perspective. There she is again, with a bit of room. Kwanzaa sticking to her task, taking her prey down. Kelter in to keep things moving for the Eagles. Mattias trying to release Chris Thomas. Thomas finds that outside line. And there's the USA Eagles over the whitewash for the first time this weekend.
And what a beauty, what a way to start the match. Chris Thomas, a tailor, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But that all started with the steal in the scrum, turned over by the U.S., and then they just moved the ball from the left side of the field to the right, and Chris Thomas, trusting her speed, she's a rock, body is solid, speed is great. She just put it down for 5.
We talk a lot about the power and pace that the USA have, and it was manifested there. You saw it in that contact area, as you say, and then suddenly being able to find that outside arc and pace to burn, whether it's Thomas, whether it's Tapper, it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, they have strike runners all over the field, and that's some real true depth that the U.S. has built over the past 8 months. It's tremendous stuff.
England yet to get their hands on the ball. Well, there it is for the first time, and just looking to settle themselves into this game. It's been a tough season for James Bailey's side, but there's a beautiful line for Rowland. And there is an immediate retort from England. The door was opened and it was Helena Rowland who strode through. That is just what James Bailey would have asked for.
Yeah, quite impressive by England to win that or take that restart off the free kick. And then the U.S., see Haverland there, just letting her through that midfield. That's one thing that the U.S. is going to really have to be particularly cognizant of this weekend, is manning up that midfield defense. It's been dangerous for them in the past, they want to close that off. But tremendous tackle and effort by Rowland to see that hold.
Aitchison's boot pushes England's noses just in front.
Captain, we're going to have a penalty at
Rowland, who
halfway.
plays fly half in the 15s, going for Saracens, been pulling up trees though in the sevens format in this new look England side. Started out, of course, before Christmas and then lost the likes of Emily Scarrett, Mo Hunt, Jess Breach to the 15s game, had to reboot, didn't have much time around Christmas for obvious reasons, and then have tried to reset themselves post-Sydney. And Bailey was telling me in the team hotel yesterday how useful that time has been. The offload doesn't work for Amy Wilson-Hardy, and it's Heveland who comes round the corner to take a look at opportunities on that right-hand side. Tapper taken down. Kelter just fades on that pass beautifully. Goes outside her defender, and Alef Kelter strides away for her first try of the weekend. The pass was perfect to the USA number 5, but the way she took it made the opportunity.
I mean, she took it with a bit of emphatic energy. Nice movement by the U.S., and she just goes. I spoke to Kalev last night a little bit. She talked about coming back into this series with a calm intensity, focused, really working hard for her team. Taking a little bit of a break was good for her, as we can see, because she just turned it on.
Yeah, we've seen Alef Kelter turn it on many a time through the course of this series. She has been an absolute dynamo for the USA engine. And she was missed in Sydney, no question, as any team would miss her. And of course, Ilona Maher, I think, got injured in that first game in Sydney from memory, and that really didn't help the USA, much as they pushed back hard to take the bronze in the end.
Not touched.
Bouncing ball, then in the end it's Meg Jones who picks up the rebound. Rowland skids to a halt, and the ball comes loose, and it's USA who snaffle it. Aitchison. Big tackles coming straight through from Lauren Doyle, the other co-captain, making her physical presence felt, trying to keep England inside their 22. Now they edge over that white line. There's Captain Abby Brown biding her time. Lovely step from Aitchison. Thomas can't hold up. Looking for the support, but nobody's offering. In the end, Abby Brown feeds out to Amy Wilson-Hardy. Wilson-Hardy's try, if you remember, at the end of Dubai day 1, just gave England that win. And a couple of very last gasp tries in this match, England, to take victory. Wilson-Hardy working her way back into midfield. Brown having to work hard to release that ball. Good counter-rucking in from Jordan Medias.
Not held.
England bundle their way forward though. Wilson-Hardy in as first receiver. Now it's moved out. Matthews out to Quansah. Quansah trying to get outside Tapper. Tapper takes her target down. Good D from the former All-Star.
And that was just patient play by England to work their way down the field, and quite patient defense by the U.S. You saw them just really contesting those rucks, coming up, and defensive line pressure pretty decent. But then Nia Tapper with a great chase on Kwanzaa. That's an impressive matchup.
Oh yeah,
two powerhouse runners.
There's a few of those out there, aren't there? I mean, you look at the likes of Alex Matthews against Jordan Medias. Medias just stepping off here to get a breather, but there's plenty of power in both sides.
Well, we'll see the Cheta Imba and Ilona Maher just coming into the match.
Yeah, you want power, you ask for Maher.
Yeah.
It doesn't come more power-packed than Ilona Maher right now.
And Cheta Imba knows all about taking candy from the baby, if you recall.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see what impact they're going to have on the last plays in this first half. Kelter looking to whisk that ball out wide as quickly as possible. England sticking to their defensive duties. Ponzo really having to work hard to hold there, and Kelter just trying to toy with the defenders. The support comes from Doyle, and now it's moved out. Mark. Kelter straight out wide to Ember. Ember confuses Aitchison and goes wide on the outside. And psychologically, that is a big tick in the box for the USA on the stroke of half-time.
And that's the kind of connectivity that AT&T can't even offer you, Simon. The team just really linked up well. Great offloads, again, from left to right. And then Cheta Emba has really, every time she steps on the pitch for every series, has improved bit by bit, showing her speed and her ability to do a nice in-out and effectively to get her first 5 points.
Well, the USA scoring first and last in that first half. And it means that at half-time, their team talk is going to be a little more positive with a score line that reads 17 points to 7.
Favours over here. Okay, you work your butt off. I think you can respond a bit quicker. All right, it's like the fatigue is not making us clear here. We've got to recognise it. What's the next task? Just respond. Let the people around you help you. Make sense? All right, backing wise. Why do you have your jersey? Too close? It's not the fit. No. It's not the fit.
We're making a step a little too late.
Oh, should I go, should I not? I need you to get your positioning and then be powerful. Powerful and directive in what you say, what you ask for. And just respond off each other. Please, get excited. Go finish this off.
Let's go, ladies. Here we go, team. We don't give. This next 2 minutes is the most important. Let's go. Let's go, US. 1, 2, 3. USA!
So Chris Brown, calm and assured in his team talk. Get excited, he says to his charges. Well, they certainly got the fans excited in that first half.
Yeah, to add to that, you know, again, the U.S. players have this tendency to really get down on themselves. And Chris has noted on a number of occasions, you just got to play and have fun and let those errors go when you make them. And just pick yourself back up. The quicker you can let it go, the faster you can be in the moment.
And the key thing always from a coach's perspective, make an error, sure, but don't make back-to-back errors.
There you
and
go.
As long as you get the positive back into the play, the smile will be back on the face. And that's what we saw in that USA side in that first 7 minutes. How will England respond? See what James Bailey's going to do off the bench as well. He tries to put pressure on the USA from the get-go. Wilson Hardy and Megan Jones staying firm. Abby Brown in there trying to hold the ball up in the choke tackle, but the power eventually allowing the USA to play on. Tapper, lovely little offload. Inside the 22, the hand breaks off. Is anybody going to get to her? It doesn't look like it. Lauren Doyle strides away. What a tackle coming through from Emma Uran. Great work from the England youngster. One of 6 debutants this season. Holding on just a mite too long, but she's stopped the initial threat. Look for all money that Lauren Doyle was striding away for another score for the USA. Now, can they make sure that this visit to the 22 doesn't end up with naught? Yes, they can. Easy work in the end from, I think that was Mia Bitzer going through. And it is the USA, or Jan Parvesi, beg your pardon, who gets that score. And the first score of the second half goes to the USA.
Yeah, Parvesi has to thank this young lady, Lauren Doyle, with that huge run up the right side of the field. she was just in superb support for Naya Tapper's offload, and then it was just easy through the hands right here. Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, I love it.
Fun in the sun here in Kitakyushu for the USA. They've opened up strong. Day one in Sydney, well, they beat China, but then lost to Spain, but bounced back with that win against the hosts, Australia. Day two, they beat Russia in the quarterfinals to make sure they got a semi-final spot. Up against the New Zealanders, always going to be the toughest task before they beat Ireland to that bronze medal. Now, England have to find some response to that. Megan Jones sets it back. USA in defensive alignment, forcing Rowland to work her way wide to find the gap. Aitchison straightens it up again. There's the skip. Abby Brown only turned 23 10 days ago. Already a veteran presence within this unit, her 16th tournament already.
Forward pass.
England getting out of alignment and the attack has to stop.
Yeah, England just struggling a bit, very young squad. But that was just slightly forward, as you can see, and that's just an attestation to the U.S.'s incredible defense. They're being patient, they're staying connected, they're coming up relatively quickly in their line speed, just to put enough pressure on England to force those types of errors.
Yeah, Chris Brown will be more than happy with the way that his team concentrated off the ball. We could talk a lot about attack and working their way with possession, but there was a case of just keeping your eye on the ball, even though you didn't have the possession of it. Rolling changes off the bench for both sides. It's the USA with the possession as Anna Kelter goes hunting down that short side. Aitchison sticking to her task in defence. But here come the USA once again. Tapper. Tapper goes. It's Tapper time. USA striding through thanks to their top try scorer ever, Naya Tapper.
Well, in the move like that, the feet, the hard work, the fin, very admirable by Tapper. And you see she just steps to the left, steps to the right actually, and just keeps fending even once she's past the defender, just to make sure that she gets that ball in.
Well, she enjoys coming to Kitakyushu. A couple of years ago, she was the joint top try scorer here. Julia Greenshills from Canada ran in 8 tries over the weekend. And already opening the account, and USA opening up a very healthy advantage over their English counterparts with 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
You know, Chris Brown said earlier this week when I spoke to him that the key to the success of the U.S. is to maintain possession for 30 seconds or more. And we're seeing that in action right now. He's certainly right on.
Good job, Nori. Well done. Good job. Time. 9 and 5.
More changes now. Alex Matthews stepping out. Lizzie Adam in, wearing 4.
Okay,
family will be delighted, no doubt. They've been following her around the world on her sevens travails.
Your ball. If you close the gap, I'm going to free
opportunity
kick you, so
for
keep the gap, please.
Exploring the world in so many different facets, of course, with this tournament.
Hold.
Kayla Cannon in as half-back. Kelter feeding out again. Mark showing that strength once again. Tapper changes wings, but it doesn't change the opportunity, and it doesn't change the outcome.
She is absolutely one of the most difficult people to tackle, and I can say that because I've tried tackling her before. Naya Tapper, when she gets those legs moving, she can't be stopped. And just the sheer power, but you see Kirsch here just being a great playmaker, puts that ball down. The support is just superb by this U.S. team, and England have no answer for them.
67 tries now in her 15th tournament. You can do the math, but it's an impressive ratio for the former All-American athlete.
Time off.
Not sure
for
there's
1
enough
minute,
oxygen around this pitch right now for Naya Tapper, but she will no doubt recover.
To her defense, or in her defense, she does say that although she looks a little bit winded, she's really not. That's just how she tries to deceive her
It's only
opposition.
for effect. That's what you're saying. Look at the body language.
Is everything okay?
England looking at a very, very difficult scoreboard right now. Less than a minute to go. Amy
They've
Perrett
got 7,
just
so
checking
okay.
the numbers on either side.
time on.
England just looking to try and finish with something of a flourish to take forward into their next 2 games today.
Holding.
Again, losing out at the breakdown, and this time it's Tapper.
Yeah.
At the breakdown.
At the breakdown.
Who'd have thought?
And she's all over the place. That was an excellent steal. And you see the U.S. just getting a line. I mean, they've just shown so much improvement. And I think it's just a hard go they've had over the last few weeks in training, playing games on Thursdays. It's really translating well for them today.
Erin Amar drives for another 5-pointer. Pulled up just short, but the alarm bells ringing in the England camp. Kelter steps again, and steps over the whitewash. And that is the icing on a very tasty cake for the USA.
And that's some great footwork. I mean, she should probably audition for Dancing with the Stars with that kind of footwork, Kelter. But again, just great teamwork by the U.S. See her stepping in, and there's really nothing you can do. She's a freight train going through.
Yeah, it's been impressive from Kelter. It's been impressive from the USA. An emphatic start from Chris Brown's crew as they defeat England in their first outing here in Kitakyushu, 43 points to 7.
Enjoy it.
We turn our attention now to Pool B. Canada, certainly one of the contenders here up against Spain. Both strong, experienced sides. Canada led by the legend, Ghislaine Landry in jersey number 9. Marina Bravo to captain Spain as well. Canada had a horror run here last year, finishing 11th, their worst ever performance. You bet your bottom dollar that they will want to change that stat. And while we mentioned Ghislaine Landry, must also mention Patricia Garcia, because both of those players now playing their 30th tournament. They joined the 30 club. There's only 3 others there. Sarah Hirini of New Zealand, Bianca Ferrella and Kayla Maleski also of Canada, now joined by Ghislaine Landry, Canadian captain, and Patricia Garcia. Ashley Murray of South Africa, our referee. We've seen strong performances so far from Ireland and Spain. Canada will be looking to join them, Phaedra, and just laying down a marker early on day one, getting into their work.
Yes, Ricky, that's the goal. You know, they've just grown and grown and grown all season, this Canadian squad. They didn't have the results they wanted last year in this place, but there's so much that has changed in many aspects with this team.
Ghislaine Landry sends it high. First match of pool, they also taken down by Spain, and one of their rising young stars, Lida Urbina, the 18-year-old younger sister of Amaya, who starts this match on the bench. Here is Garcia in her 30th tournament. The playmaker for Spain goes into heavy contact early with Kaylee Lucan, and locked in over the ball is Caroline Crosley. Early turnover for Canada, a good attacking possession here. It was well drilled, precise side Farella into the action, and just as I say precise, Farella throws it out across the face.
And again, that's one of those nerves thing, right?
Captain.
You just got to settle in, but
Captain.
it's outstanding.
Scrum a line out.
Steal
Scrum.
by Crosley
Scrum.
in the ruck, and just poor time, just a little bit too far in front of her. Forward pass.
Just shows the dangers, though, the Canadian players have, that ability to spread and spread quickly, and turning that ball over. Caroline Crosley, who turned 21 yesterday.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Garcia clears for Spain to work it out from deep inside their own territory. Here is Barbara Pla into the action for the first time, swerving around, just tracked across field nicely by Lucan again. A good surging run by Pla. Garcia into the midfield with Martinez, and now driven back in a heavy tackle by Crosley. Spain just on their own side of halfway, looking for the inside ball, but instead taking the ball into contact. Beatriz Sanchez, another of the newer players in the Spanish team, now towing ahead for Echevarria. Garcia found some open space, but it's pretty easily tidied up by Brittany Ben at the back. Such a workhorse, Britt Ben. And here's Landry really getting into it for the first time. Needed to make that tackle, did Sanchez. Still there for Canada, only just. Spain give away a penalty. Away go Canada again, wanting to get on with things. Ben. Landry sizes up the options, and they push it across the line to Farella. And now Lucan with clear territory ahead. Kaylee Lucan, well, she's been prominent in defence, and now she's there on attack. Good start for Kaylee Lucan.
And that's what you get with Canada. They are so deadly, have become one of the most deadly transition teams on the series. They turn that ball over and just use the pass, use the ball and let it do the work, and it minimizes your work. And Lucan just really walking in unopposed for that first try.
Canada break the deadlock as Landry adds the extras as well. Great conversion by Giz Landry, and that gives Canada a 7-0 advantage. John Tate, the long time head coach of Canada, has been in charge for 7 years now.
He's done a great job of helping to build this Canadian program.
Finding open spaces off the restart, allowing it to bounce is leader Urbina. She's taken in by Crosley. That's a good battle. Urbina and Crosley wrestling to the ground eventually as Garcia clears for Martinez, goes into heavy contact with Ben. Spain, of course, such a great performance here last year, beating Australia and reaching the semi-finals. How they'd love to do that again after a difficult start to the season. And it's turned over, though, by Canada. No penalty, Spain.
You've gone off your feet. In front of the mark.
Garcia thought she was away there, called back, needs to get in the right spot.
Yeah, you see
Over here.
Landry with her shoulders below her hips. Just losing her feet in that rut.
Oh, that's a great clearing kick by Spain. Sending them deep down into Canadian territory towards the 22.
The restarts, such as lineouts and obviously scrums and kickoffs, have been a central point of focus for this Spanish squad over the last few weeks in training.
Oh, that's a great line out. That's training being put straight into practice, and it gives them an opportunity to look for their first points of the match. Pla taking on Ben. Urbina is there, but blowing through strongly. Farella, I think it was for Canada, and they might have won this back, the Canadians. They have brilliant work in defence. Oh, but that's not so brilliant, and it's put them under pressure, and there's a scramble for the ball. Bravo is there. The Spanish captain was a fingernail short, but eventually they will cross. The Canadian error allows Echevarria to score for Spain.
Ricky, that try started with actually good structure on attack built by Spain. They had the unfortunate turnover, but then they recovered with this awesome steal, and then all they had to do was just set the ruck and move the ball to the short side, and they did that very effectively, put it in the hands of Echevarria and put down their first 5 points.
Not sure Julia Greenshields will be wanting to look at that pass on replay too many times, but it's put Spain right into this as we head towards half-time. 7 points to 5, Canada lead. Sends it down into the blue sky, climbing high. And it's there for Spain again. Sanchez, Beatriz Sanchez. Oh, that tackle needed to be made. It was a good one by Greenshields. Spain with the offloading game. Garcia, she's got a nose for the try line. Puts her head down, the nuggety little playmaker for the Spanish. Hard on attack, right on half-time now. Wouldn't they love to score? Bravo, the captain. Gets to ground, has to be released there by the Canadian defence and does so. Martinez, she's got Leda Urbina one-on-one with Ben, but Urbina is too strong. Spain strike before half-time.
And wow, what work they put into building their attack. And it started, though, with that turnover in the kickoff from Sanchez. It was one of their focuses in the, or foci, if you will, in the training leading up to this event. But they just moved the ball wide. Great teamwork to get it out and make Urbina's work quite easy to put it down.
Big kick here for Patricia Garcia from out wide, and it's going to just drift away, but Spain have come back from 7-0 down, and they'll take the lead into the half-time break. 10 points to 7, Spain over Canada.
We just got to get the possession and hold on to a little bit. Right, once she turns her hips on the kickoff, we know it's going that way, so we've got to shift and react. Okay? That's all. Back down our end, we get another one of those, just slow it down, right? We don't have to play pass from our end, slow it down. We got forward to breakdown, we go black, just look up, hold it in there, sloth call. Right, other than that, just composure, we'll get back to it, right? We're receiving this kick, okay? So we Charity Bree and Karen are coming on, Carol, Molly, and Julia, okay? Right, just organize where you're going on the kick. Nice and controlled, ladies. Square it up, right? Call for an early pass, deliver passes. Let's go.
Let's go, girls. Hey, guys, breathe, okay? Composure. Let's go, okay? 0-0. Nerves are out. That's fine. 3 months, that's fine. Now we go. You gotta work. No one's gonna do it for you. You gotta fucking work. Team on 2, 1, 2. Team!
Well, very calm, measured in there, in that Canadian huddles. We see Australia, China up next, also in Pool B. France, Russia.
Well, Ricky, we heard Coach Tate basically telling the team that they're going to have to really just regain composure, take your time. But we also heard there's going to be a substitution. One in particular is Karen Packin. She's sort of an intimidator, has been out of the game for a couple of years, coming back from a knee injury. But she is sure to make a difference in the second half.
Patricia Garcia, Spain lead. And into the wind now, taken down. Strong take by Lucan, who's had a nice start to this match. There's a few changes. Brianne Nicholas on there in 4 for Canada as well. Karen Pakan in 7. Welcome back to the tour for her. And here's another one. Charity Williams with space out wide. Charity Williams has scooped it around the outside of Leda Urbina. There is not anyone going to get within a mile of Charity Williams. First touch, first try.
And you talk about composure, that's it at its best. Beautiful movement. Charity Williams just opening up, doing what she does best. Great movement through the hands. You see Brittany Benn just spinning it out. Simple two on one. And Charity not even locking it in fifth gear. She's just rolling in second.
Just had so much space and just able to get around easy. And Landry from in front puts Canada back in front. And they now lead 14 points to 10, striking first after half-time. Landry looking for Farella, who gets up there, but it's come off the hand of Bianca Farella.
Bianca Farella, quite the restart specialist she's become this season, really pursuing the ball. Take a look at she's got some ups.
She's got some hops. Just couldn't quite get it backwards, and
Crouch.
Illustrates the point. Those errors from Canada. At the moment, though, they are just in front, so Spain need to make them pay for those errors as Barbara Pla, the veteran, pops a brilliant ball for Urbina. Now Echevarria, she's got one, trying to get through Lucan, and now Farella comes at her, driving her hard into the ground. Urbina, this is Lida Urbina, younger sister. Some of the newer Spanish players driving towards the line. Oh, that's a timely hand from Lucan. Needed to get a little touch on that. Still there for Martinez. Urbina clears. Garcia sizes the options, tries to take them on, is driven back hard by Nicholas. Echevarria, and now Captain Bravo rumbles forward. Big, strong ball player when they need some meters. Garcia, spot tackle, spinning out as Pacan, and then it's Nicholas over the top. Look at Pacan trying to drive in, disrupt the Spanish ball, and it's slow and untidy. That's allowed Canada's defensive line to reset again. Eventually, Spain are able to drag it out of that ruck. Bennett rushed up on Pla, and it left Landry having to make that tackle around the ankle. She did so. Bravo. Good continuity here for Spain. Urbina straight up through the middle. Little short ball. They didn't see it coming, Canada. And Urbina strikes again.
And that was fantastic phase play by Spain. It all started in the middle with Pla, not once but twice, with the footwork in and out, and then basically when she sucked in the defense in the middle, she opened up holes around the edges, and Urbina has her, a lot to give to Pla for that, setting up that try.
Oh, you could see the exhaustion, the work that they put in for that try. And with the conversion as well, and now it's Spain going in front. What a seesawing match, 17-14. Tackle stats there for Canada.
They've been busy.
A lot of work. Garcia has overcooked it from the restart, straight out on the full, so they'll go back to halfway. Canadian possession in the middle of the field. Big error from such an important player for Spain and Garcia. Landry. Nicholas, and then here's the speedster Farella. Well looked after though, good coupling tackle by the Spanish debutante Paula Requena. It is a 9 who made that tackle on Farella, but the danger's not over here for Spain. Landry stops and props and goes back to the left, and is taken down by Ingrid Algar onto the field for Spain. Benn, able to make the inroads in this match, Brittany Benn. Lucan and Landry, and now Williams with some space, can't handle, and that allows the Spanish time to try and track her down. Amaya Urbina now out there standing wide in 3. It was Bravo, the captain, who made the tackle. Nicholas in midfield, planted in the middle. Farella takes it to the line, and now it will open up for Britt Benn. The patient build up once more, side to side, they push them. Canada strike back.
Yes, Ricky, and that's just excellent accordion attack by Canada to move the ball from east to west and vice versa. You see just great skills. Paquin reaching for the ball at her toes, and then Brittany Benn just walking it in virtually.
Another important kick for Ghislaine Landry to convert the Benn try. 21-17 now. Farella and Landry, look at those try-scoring abilities. 119 each.
They are quite dangerous with ball in hand and a little bit of space.
Spain need to secure this kickoff from the restart. Oh, that's clever from Landry. She's just driven it down long, and she's going to ask Spain, if they want to win it, they're going to have to come from deep inside their own territory. What have Spain got from 10 metres out from their own line? They'll have to go coast to coast. If they're to win this match, they're not going to do it with that throw. It's an absolute shocker. And Bianca Farella, well, she scored 119 tries. Make it 120, that might be the easiest.
Yeah, that's just great heads-up play by Farella. Spain botched the line out, wasn't straight to start with, and then Farella just teed off and stepped in.
So Canada have withstood the Spanish side who've come at them hard, but they've shown composure at the critical moments, and they'll take their win on game one. Canada 26, Spain 17.
Thank you.
Green so strong through the legs.
There's not many people that can run through a gap like that with 5 defenders in their midst.
Green hits full speed.
Turns the last line of defence inside out. Elliot Green, awesome stuff there.
Just have a look at the impact of this lady.
You need someone to break a game open, and this is the woman to do it, Elliot Green.
So Canada on Australia level on points, and now we get the chance to see the Aussies stepping out for their first footing into this tournament. As you can see, a perfect 8 from 8 for Australia against China in these encounters, and a sense of deja vu, because this is how they started Kitakyushu 12 months ago. Let's take a look at the lineups, and the big name back in the green and gold is Charlotte Caslick, 4 months out for the co-captain this weekend. A critical return maybe for the Australians in the way that they can play. For China, well, who knows what we're going to get from the Chinese, as they've now got a new head coach, Sean Horan, taking over only a matter of weeks in charge, but be interesting to see whether he's been able to make any changes to their style of play in that short space of time. Delighted to have Tiana Penatani once again alongside me. Silver in Sydney, beginning to get really on the up and on their uppers now, Australia, and looking to continue, of course, this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Australia, obviously a slow start this season, but coming off the back of their best performance in Sydney with the silver, falling short to New Zealand, but they'll take an abundance of confidence from that performance. And as you mentioned, the likes of Charlotte Caslick being in amongst this team again. She was missing in the last couple of tournaments due to a hand injury, but she's the architect of this Australian side, so that'll be a huge inclusion this weekend.
For those Chinese, well, they'll have good memories of Kitakyushu, were the invitation side here last year. Managed to get themselves to a quarter-final, beating Ireland on day one. Sakuraku Kawasaki from Japan is going to be in charge of this one. Beautiful day here in the south of Japan. It really is perfect rugby sevens weather. A breeze coming in off the dock, which will take any sweat away from the brow. Both teams looking to
change the side.
get out of the blocks as quickly as possible. Sorting out which way they're going to play to start with. Of course, this time last year, it was head coach John Manenti's first game officially in charge. Of course, he's been with the group for a long time, but as head honcho.
Yeah, that's right, coming off the back of Tim Walsh's reigning for many, many years, but he's got a full 12 months under his belt now with these women.
Took the Aussies to bronze 12 months ago. What's it going to be this weekend? Australia won this game 33-5 12 months ago, and of course played against China 10 weeks ago in Sydney, 24-7. We were victors then. Central Hearn with her first touch of the ball. Caslick with those trademark ribbons flowing behind already as she gets the movement into the Aussie attack, but the ball goes loose to China, and it's China now working their position already inside the Australian half. Yan Mei-Ling always close to the ball for her team. Such a key cog in the way that China have been able to work. Wished out by Gao Ying. Stab through from Gu Yao Yao, but oh, it's China first to the ball. That's good work, good follow-up work. And China now trying to get some momentum into their attack. Gu Yao Yao. Dummy runners working off. The hole appearing, but suddenly the ball in the hands of Traherne. Shani Williams doing the captain's job before it's moved out to Alicia Quirk. Gets the call inside from Caslick. Caslick returns to favour, and it's Alicia Quirk who opens Australia to account this weekend.
That's an excellent start there from Australia. They absorbed all of the pressure in defence. I was particularly impressed with China putting a little kick in behind, feeling the pressure from Australia with their line speed, but it's the combination between Caslick and Alicia Quirk, two of the most experienced on the field this weekend. And an unselfish little play there, just getting a second touch on the ball, both of them. A great start for Australia.
Great work from Alicia Quirk. Missed Glendale, of course, with that knee that she hurt in San Francisco. It's been a difficult time with injuries for the Australians. No sooner do they get Caslick back, but they lose Dom Dutoit. She's had an ankle operation. Of course, she missed San Francisco as well with a collarbone problem. And Min trying to release Captain Mei-Ling. Australia swooping on their targets. Mei Ling throws it wide, and the pressure's there, and the pressure pays off with points. It's Ivania Politi who benefits. Big pardon, it was Sam Traherne who was there first. They were all snooping around that ball, and suddenly it came loose.
It was the pressure there from Australia. We've been seeing in the last 3.5 minutes just so much pressure and so much line speed. They back their defence, and all women on feet. And that's a real credit to the urgency of Australia. First game, first blowout, high energy, and Emma Tonagato comes away with the first points.
Tonagato with Australia's second try. Made her first appearance this season at Sydney. Part of the HSBC Dream Team from last series, of course. And we've seen her impact on this Australia side so often. Unexpected opportunity that they pounced upon. China gifting their opposition. The score, Charlotte Caslick strides away, and Caslick is back in town. Third try for the Aussies inside 5 minutes.
And there she goes, over for her 71st try, and a big congratulations to Charlotte Caslick, her 29th cap, becoming the third Australian to be the most cap player alongside Shannon Parry and Emily Cherry. But there's her signature, the two-handed carry. She beats her defender one-on-one and just slides through a small gap.
Well, John Manenti was telling me yesterday how good their training has been since Sydney, how difficult team selection has been, and you can see the confidence already within this group.
That's right, they work hard when they're at home, and there's plenty of young talent coming through the squad.
Plenty of absentees in the squad for this weekend. The likes of Shannon Parry, of course, Demi Hayes is out. Emily Cherry, of course, about to give birth in the next few months. So a chance for some of these youngsters to really show Manenti what they're about. China trying to show Sean Horan what they're about, but really haven't had much opportunity in the 6 minutes or so they've had. And the passing just goes awry again. Yang Min unable to hold on the ball, and Caslick whisks it away. Traherne. The offload is there. Tonagato up in support once again. Loose ball kicked through, but referee Kawasaki spots an offside.
What an exhausting first half this has been. It's been high energy from Australia, and China just no room to move. Australian defence have been absolutely suffocating them when they've got ball in hand.
Caslick looks at the options left and right. The cutback is there from Quirk. Release out to Tonagato. Quick presentation, quick transfer. Caslick looking to pull the defenders before releasing Yasmin Meeks. The offload is there, and this time it is Samantha Traherne who goes over the try line.
Samantha Traherne, this being her 4th tournament on the World Series, 4th career try as well. And Charlotte Caslick just commits those two defenders with a late pop, and Samantha Traherne's there in support, unmarked and over right before the half-time bell.
Been something of a breakout season for Sam Traherne, having made her debut at Glendale.
Half-time.
And as T says, really producing constant performances for the green and gold so far this season. Well, it's been a constant performance in that first half. Australia getting into 3rd, 4th and 5th gear very quickly to lead 26-0 at the turnaround.
shut them down, not the turnover try. Right, kick off, press, three-phase press, turnover try. Okay, control the ball, force the turnovers, tries will come, attack's going awesome. Okay, so we've just got to keep working hard defensively. Okay, don't sit on this. All right, I want you to be ruthless. Yep. All right, I want you to be ruthless. I want you to be clinical. Don't have to play 50-50. Don't have to play, throw the ball away. We can build pressure, all right, but I want to keep twisting the knife. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The whole frigging weekend, all right, we start and we keep going. We don't pull off the pedal, okay?
Yeah. Now we've got to sniff at some turnovers. We know that they're making their own errors when we just have our line and we're just pressing. So don't start sniffing and just going at everything. Make sure you make it count and you get that ball back, all right? Awesome start there.
One change, need to pop Shani off, Elliot on.
Let's keep it up, eh? Woo! Big 2 minutes to start. Share on 3! 1, 2, 3, share! Yes.
Emma.
Checking.
Plenty of emphasis on the defensive effort there at halftime from Australia. Some wise words coming from one of the veterans in the side, Alicia Quirk. But that's all it's been. Australian attack, Australia with ball in hand, and when they're in defence, it's been pressure, pressure, pressure. China, just no opportunity yet in attack.
Ruthless was the word Manenti used, and he wants them to keep their foot on the Chinese throats in their second half, to keep that momentum, especially with Canada coming up later on today.
That's right, it's bigger picture for Australia, just setting the platform here, game one, day one.
Traherne with the restart. China with 2 changes from that squad that went out to Sydney, no Chen Ming or Wong Yu, but yet to really release the likes of Chen Koyi, who's their flyer, their strike weapon that we've seen so often in the course of this tournament. No foothold really in the game, and that's both a problem for China and a credit to Australia. Quirk rides high. And the releases there, first sighting this weekend of Elia Green. What a tournament she had in Sydney. So difficult to stop, so determined, takes 2 to bring her down there. Ball is there for her teammates, Traherne. Wide it goes from Meeks, the little cutback. Meeks is there, the quick 1-2. This is great play from Australia. Ball is loose, ball is over. Once again, Australia capitalise, and once again, it's Emma Tonegato.
No surprise there, Emma Tonegato always sniffing for a carry. She finds herself in the right place at the right time, but so impressive from Australia to just keep the ball alive. Initially, it came from the carry from Elliot Green, taking 2 defenders to ground. And then it was a little wraparound here from Tonegato, unselfish pass there to Traherne, who falls a metre short of the line, and Tonegato again for a second touch, dives over with another 5 points. Great stuff from the Aussies.
92 tries in 24 tournaments for Tonegato. And that type of poaching ability, so vital if you're going to have success in this series. Manenti making sure that everybody gets game time on this first run out. Tonegato, Meeks. Leslie having a look out wider. And the Sykes into the mix now. Good distance on the passing. Politi, we haven't seen an awful lot of her yet. Pass just going astray from Lily Dick with the ball back. Meeks puts it back inside. And it's a hat-trick, the first hat-trick of the weekend. And it's gone to the Aussie number 5, Emma Tonegato.
Emma Tonegato, there's no doubt she's well acquainted with the try line. But this is a nice style of play that we're seeing from Australia, just keeping the ball alive. Their movement with the ball is phenomenal. They're one of the best attacking teams on the World Series. There's no doubt about that.
12 months ago, we saw Yasmin Meeks make her debut in this tournament. She is having an increasing influence on the way that Australia are playing. Pops up so often as that rebound wall, as picking up the scraps, maybe doing the bits and pieces work that allows the dare I say, more glamour names to get the opportunities. Ball goes loose, and again it's the appetite from those in yellow. Kaslek putting great width on its Sykes, waiting for the cutback from Green. Australia finding their attack in such good motion. Mahalia Murphy unfortunately unable to hold on there, but the width that Australia get on their attack and the speed with which they do it, so impressive on the first outing.
That's right, and we know the ball will beat the player 99% of the time, so the width and the core skill, the width on the pass from Australia is phenomenal, and it just makes it so hard to defend. You can see China are heavily marking their strike players, Tonegado and Elia Green, which is allowing so much space to open up in the middle of the field.
Set.
China opened up with an 11th spot at Glendale, but then beat Fiji and Spain on day 2 of Dubai to finish 9th. And 11th again in Sydney, but really just haven't found any flow, any opportunity to really connect their attacking game. Wang Shao doing some hard work at the breakdown. Mei Ling feeds it back in there to Yang Min. China loading up on this right flank. Murphy doing well to bring her target down. Not rolling away is going to give China a chance to go again. Ran Hongting looking for the offload. It's a slow offload. There's tired legs out there. Mei Ling gets the call. It was a bit of a 50-50 pass, but it worked in the end.
Advantage over.
Yao Yao. Australia scavenging on the loose ball at the breakdown. And getting the benefit. There's Meeks again, the feed. Cut back from Mahalia Murphy. And the offload not very accurate. Kaslek has to pick up the pieces. But Sykes able to go again from deep, and go they do. Striding away for yet another score. China thought they were going to work, manipulate a position there, but the ball goes loose and Australia capitalise, and it's the teenager Lily Dick who is the one to get the 5-pointer.
Yeah, the youngster Lily Dick, only 19 years old, this being her 3rd tournament for the Aussies, but she's such a powerhouse and one to watch in the future. She comes away with the reward for Australia, but it's hard to look past this Australian defence. They're on their feet, they make their tackles, and they're the first back on their feet, and that's what's putting China under pressure, and that's what will keep the pressure on for teams coming up against Australia throughout this weekend.
And then it's the transformation from D to attack, which is so quick, and that's what Manente will be delighted with, the way that they've been able to transfer that.
Yeah, and it's a real reflection, of their fitness levels, Australia, to be able to withhold that much pressure in defence and then to turn it over in attack and just score points on points is so impressive.
Yeah, the work of Tom Carter, the ex-Waratah, now head of athletic performance, very evident in the fitness of these girls as Sykes challenges China to a foot race to finish off. It's not going to make any difference. It's a big, big start for Australia. Problems for China. Australia, the victors, 47 points to 0.
Well, you don't
give her an opportunity or space like that.
She's got the angle, Tyson, she's got to score.
Mikhailova, what a try!
They forgot to put her on the ground, and if you give her any kind of space, she will punish you. Mikhailova up for the dummy, and through she goes.
Just showing why she's such a quality player.
He's made some noise with the football today, Mikhailova.
We'll just let them in.
So there's the HSBC World Rugby Women's 7 Series standings as we moved into Japan for this weekend. Of course, those top 4 will have their Olympic tickets for Japan, Tokyo 2020, stamped by the end of this season. But coming up underneath is the European question. Who is going to represent Europe and how are they going to do it? Is anybody going to be able to break that top 4 before the end of the season? Well, 2 of these may be the answer to that question. France up against Russia. This time last year, it was a breakout game, breakout tournament for France, getting to their first ever cup final. Up against the Russians, well, 18 times they played, and it's a perfect split between the two. As you can see, Russia the victors in the last one in Dubai before Christmas. But fascinating to see 2 very different styles from these teams. Fanny Orta and Shannon Izar, the co-captains for Les Bleus this weekend. And for the Russians, well, you can never look much beyond Mikhailova, their skipper. 2 changes with Diana Klushenko not here and Anna Bystrova also away from the group. There's Fanny Orta ready to lead their team into another campaign which they hope will be able to take them a little bit further this season. They really haven't found the form that we thought they were going to post last season, of course post San Francisco when they took the silver from the Rugby World Cup. 2 very, very different styles of sevens teams we've got for this one, Phaedra.
Yes, Simon. As we know, France put that in your face, just aggressive defense. Very skillful attack. And you've got also Russia. Very different.
It's going to be fascinating to see how they open up and how quickly they open up. It's Vita Roccavareni, the man in charge of this one. Pool A clash. Pool A with New Zealand and Japan to come. Of course, France will be familiar with the New Zealand threat, as most teams are in this series. I hasten to add, Shannon Izar with the first kick of the ball. Hamidova, being a linchpin of this Russian side for so many years, playing her 27th tournament, just 28 years of age, and so many times we see her as the fulcrum, or indeed the thrust of the Russian outfit.
Number 1.
Having to work themselves back into defensive mode. Noritsina
Play the ball.
having the finger pointed at her. Marjorie Miles, a very experienced campaigner, of course. Part of that Rugby World Cup team, won the Grand Slam with the Six Nations team last year as well. Here she is. Dumped unceremoniously to the floor. Izar helps. Coronison trying to find Coralie Bertrand. Good to see Bertrand back. She missed Sydney. The Stade Toulousain back.
Got a knock on into touch. There's an option of a scrum.
Unfortunate knock there by France. That ball just bobbling out of her hands, especially considering they put so much pressure in that breakdown to create that turnover off the kickoff.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Passing not accurate, and Marina Kukina having to pick up the bouncing ball, but what a gift that is for Siafani. Well, Christmas is a little way off, but don't expect a card with that one. And Siafani cannot believe her luck.
Yeah, she should definitely play the lottery later, because that just fell right into her hands in the right place at the right time. That's all off of great defense, and she's just intercepting in that passing line. Siafani, she has a way of getting things started for France.
Yeah, she's become that, I wondered whether we should use the word talisman, but it is, she has that effect on France, because she does seem to make things happen.
Yeah, we've seen it ever since she stepped foot on the pitch for them.
Well, Russia shot themselves in the foot now. Now they have to repair things. And there's a break. Good work from Baranchuk.
Play on.
France scavenging at the breakdown. Mayon's quick to react. Izard going around the periphery before coming back to exactly where she started from. But the ball still in French possession. Bertrand. Showing the strength that we know she has. Good width on the passing from Les Bleus. Siafani changes the angle. Takes two Russian defenders with her. Orta in support. The show and go from Mayence. The little inside pop. And it's Bertrand there to finish things off for France.
Simon, that's just spectacular. Starting that off, France did not break on the defense when Russia cut up the middle of the field and just maintained their composure, forced a turnover, and just moved the ball to the hands and through the hands of the playmakers and the scorers. And you see, nice little flip offload there to Bertrand to score.
It's one of the enigmas of this 7th series with Russia, who have such a settled squad that you're never quite sure how they're going to play. They started so well last year, faded a bit towards the second half, and we still don't see that consistency that no doubt Andre Cousin is looking for from these girls.
Yeah, but it's just like turning on a light switch in terms of consistency. Once you turn it on, it's on, and so they just need to strike several phases of play, get it together, build a little bit of confidence. They're not that far away from it.
Well, they're building from deep. Good breakout from Kukina. Again, the passing not accurate going forward, and the flow is immediately stopped, but Russia desperate to try and stitch something together.
That's the second big break down the middle for Kukina, and she just can't perfect the pass to Mikasova. Just a couple of deep breaths. They're doing the hard work. They just need to fine-tune the little details.
Coach. Well, they're going to have to fine-tune their defence once again as Colaneson feeds this scrum. Siafani looking for that strike move off the base. There she is. Again, taking two out. Again, the quick presentation to Bertrand. Up to the 22, though, France. That's good work, and the ball comes loose for Russia. Now they're going to try and make something out of nothing. Striding away is Strakova. And Elena Strakova gets Russia on the board, and my goodness me, didn't they need those points?
Yes, they did, and that's just outstanding individual effort by Strakova. See, noticing the ball on the ground exposed, great defensive work in the ruck, and then she just pins her ears back, or rather pins her braids back, and sprints it in for the first 5.
Well, for the Russian psyche, those 5 are absolutely imperative, because this half they haven't been able to get into the game, and when they've had the ball, they've thrown it away. And France have made hay at any given opportunity, so that will no doubt bolster their confidence going into the half-time break. Daria Lushina to start the last phase of this first half. Quick work from Mikhaltseva, up hard and fast. Russia trying to find the release with Shannon Izar. Loose pass though. Well, Russia trying to make something more of these last few phases. Seredina releases out to Hamadova, and Hamadova gets Russia right into this game. Well, you said it, Phaedra. They flick on the switch and suddenly it happens. There's electricity just gone through that Russian side.
Yeah, that was simply outstanding, and it was nothing really that fancy. They just worked really hard on defense, Russia, to pressure that France attack, and then just made the best of a good situation. See the nice little flip pass, and then the basketball pass over, and Hamadova being the benefactor of that.
Well, Hamadova's try takes her personal tally in this series to 450 points. But critically, it takes Russia right back onto the tails of their opposition. Half-time, this is going to be a tight one. Half-time, it's France with their noses in front, 14 points to 10.
Начинайте движение вперед, у вас слева, справа человек будет поддержка. Хорошо? Контакт ведите просто по правилам. Убегайте по дуге, если он не уверен. Хорошо? В атаке. Сохранение мяча, девушки. 2 рака проиграли. Сохраните раки. У вас будет преимущество. 3-4 фазы, у вас будет везде тогда преимущество. И в краях, и по центру. Только нужно сохранить мяч. В защите все правильно. Плотнее держите центр, в края вы успеете согнать. Хорошо? И момент захвата. Можете захватывать работу.
Давайте, детки, настрой говно, блядь. Давайте, разозлитесь, блядь, 3-4. Россия! Еще! Давай так.
Well, the fans picking their teams to support in this weekend. It's fascinating to see how these teams will pick up fans through the course of these 2 days. There's plenty of local following and tourists in town as well. This time last year, these two met in the quarterfinals, and France, of course, stepped through towards their first ever cup final in fairly dominant style, but this one looks like it's going to be tight and tense for the final 7 minutes.
Advantage over.
Sheena out to Captain Mikhaltseva.
That's okay, play on.
Oh, ball in French control. Trying to work the way down this right flank with Bertrand. As ever, the conduit for France from the breakaway. Siofani staying out wide. Izar showing, going, coming back. Can't get gone though, and Siofani is pulled down. France with a rangy style of play. Distance on their passes. Chloe Pell out to Bertrand. They work their way into enemy territory. Mayons again, great width to Izar. Russia back in position. Some tired legs out there already. Nielsen. France trying to keep going through the high gears. They'll get the call from the referee as Russia don't roll away, so they can just draw breath before they go again.
Is Simon, France just being patient on attack, moving the ball, let the ball do the work, keeping some good composure, and then forcing Russia to create a penalty.
I mean, we've still got 5 minutes left in this game, but you get the feeling that any unforced error now could prove critical to the outcome of this match. Such is the tightness of this competition.
Time off. You got subs.
Checking as the substitutions begin.
Can you give me the number, please?
Caroline Drouin.
Number 10, blue.
Playmaker coming in, I think, for Carla Neeson.
Just get him on board.
No. It's not going to be Neeson. It looks like it's Miles.
Let's go, let's go.
Drouin, of course, a standalone fly half, if you will, certainly in the 15s game. Change for Russia as well brings Yana Danilova into the back line.
Stand back on. Push back.
Neeson feeds out to Drouin. The cut back from Bertrand, the little offload for the French playmaker. The call to go left is there. Neeson makes the bust, feeds off to Bertrand, and there is a very important score for Les Bleus.
And Neeson doing an outstanding job of drawing the defense in the midfield. Just a little bit of a stutter, ball in both hands, quite deceptive, and then easy offload to Bertrand for our second try.
Are able to add the extras, and that adds a little bit of security to the scoreline. Bertrand in the right place at the right time to nab her second try of this game. The Stade Toulousain back, who had to miss Sydney with injury. Been around this French squad for a while now. But it's a squad that has to rotate 7s and 15s on a regular basis, which doesn't always allow for maximum flexibility. Hamanova works her way into a French cul-de-sac.
Advantage. Offside 9.
Too enthusiastic, those French defenders, though. And Lushina brings Russia away from their own 22. Serenina sending it out to replacement Danilova. Can't hold the ball in the contact, and Izar weighing up the options. Quick response from the French. The next try would surely seal the deal in this one. Ah, Neeson looking at the try line and forgetting to look at the ball. Russia having to go from deep with 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
Well, a little bit of back and forth from both sides there, Simon. Good defense on both ends.
Time off.
And just handling errors.
8 white.
Costing each team possession.
8 white off.
Again, changes. David Cortex bringing Monsieur Conde. Made her debut last year in Sydney, but hasn't appeared since Dubai. There she is, looking to make an impact in the last couple of minutes in this first outing here in Kitakyushu.
Early pushing.
Unforced error in many ways from Russia, opening the door again for the French, and they're going to make the most of it. Well, you want impact, you ask for Nasira Conde. Tri-tone.
Wow, that was like the bus running over everyone, but at any rate, you said it earlier, penalties at this stage in the game would be critical, probably be a determining factor of who wins.
Going
to take a second look at that to make sure
Tex, have a look now.
it is a try.
It was direct, let's put it that way.
That's emphatic
Tex,
to
have a
me.
decision, you may award the try.
Yeah, the referee's arm goes up, as does the scoreboard. That pretty much seals the deal for France on their first outing, much as they've still got 100 seconds left. the impetus in the second half, the flow has all belonged to Les Bleus. Russia's mistakes have been capitalised pretty much every time.
Yeah, when you're a team like France and you can react so quickly and you have the skills to match it, to be able to move the ball the way they do and fire the support in all areas of the field, it makes it really hard to stay in the game making mistakes as Russia has.
Started this season with a 4th in Glendale, and then a couple of 6ths to foreign Dubai and Sydney. And the expectation was so high after last season with, well, can't call it a breakout season, but they had such success, of course, culminating in the Rugby World Cup final in San Francisco. Haven't been able to find that consistency as yet. Is this weekend going to be, as last year was, a very special weekend for France? Amidova trying to wend her way through French defenders, but again the ball is lost. And again, France get themselves onto the front foot very quickly. Grisey. Tired Russian bodies trying to get back into position now. Grisey again the link. Whisked out to Drouin. Drouin with the Kemba outside, and Serafina Kemba with the pace, the power and the leg stride to get through the tackle and over the try line.
Well, all credit for that try to Joanna Grisey with the steal in the ruck, all the pressure on defense by France, and just excellent ball movement, run and draw, and then you see Kande just making that emphatic skip, stepping out of the tackle and bagging her second try of the match.
And Drouin finishes things off. It was tight at half-time, but Russia were nilled in the second half as France really found their flow, found their feet, and they find a very, very impressive first win here in Kitakyushu. 33 points to 10, the final score.
Good job, Tom.
It was this time last year where a quite extraordinary run began for New Zealand. 36 matches now, unbeaten on the World Series, and an overall winning streak of 49 games. All 6 events on the World Series sit in New Zealand Rugby's trophy cabinet, as well as the Rugby World Cup Sevens, the Commonwealth Games gold medal, and the Fast Four Invitational. But this is a vastly different New Zealand team here this weekend. The players missing: Woodman, Blyde, Futta-Simpkins, Brazier, Broughton and Fitzpatrick, and also the coach, Alan Bunting, who is on leave for health reasons, so Corey Sweeney takes over, and it means a debut for number 8, Dice Faliafunga, just 18 years of age. Shea Robbins-Letty returns. The streaks are made to be broken, and it is a very welcome return back to the World Series for Japan, the host nation, led out by their inspirational captain, Chiharu Nakamura, be desperate to get some points on the board and a win in their first tournament, in their home tournament rather, here in Kitakyushu. Japan welcomed out onto the stadium, Tiana, and it's a big moment for them to take on the defending champions first up.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had 2 previous encounters here, Japan finding themselves in New Zealand's pool on both occasions. Japan have, but this is their first appearance on the World Series this season after losing their core team position after last season. They lost the semi-final in Hong Kong only last week in the Hong Kong qualifiers, so they missed out on a core team position in 2020, but they automatically qualify for the Olympics in Tokyo 2020. So this just another step up with the bigger picture inside, but it's hard to look past this strong New Zealand outfit. Can the youngsters get it done, missing 6 of their top players?
What a beautiful moment as the two teams gathered in the middle of the pitch in joining together. New Zealand team this week on their training shirts bear the names of the 50 victims of the Christchurch mosque attack a little over a month ago. They welcome the support and solidarity from around the world and shown by their Japanese opponents just now. Tyler Miller, the referee from Australia. Japan against New Zealand in Pool A. Set underway, this very new look New Zealand side, but it's an old hand who goes heavy into first collision, Ruby Tui. Gee, they clattered in on the tackle there, Japan. It was a good start for them. Here's Williams. Stacey Walker, the step and the danger of Stacey Walker. She's got speed to burn, becoming a prominent player in this team. Taken down at a good ankle tackle. Through the hands.
Go on, Dice, have a go, Dice.
New Zealand.
Go, Dice.
And this is Dice Whakafunga, the 18-year-old. You can see she's a big, strong, powerful athlete for New Zealand. Her retaining possession here. Big ball out of the top. Oh, Shay Robbins-Retty up in the air, tackled in the air, just got the timing wrong, Japan. Play on. And they'll just play on. Only the penalty, no yellow card. Waka, Williams. Veteran Niall Williams. Robin Felici has been a long time out of this team for her. Now Tui, looking for a supporter, and she's got Whaliafunga. Let's see the pace of the youngster and the strength. Nice Whaliafunga in her first match on debut for New Zealand is going to score. Welcome to the World Series, Dice Whaliafunga.
Dice Whaliafunga, the 18-year-old, gee, she's a powerhouse. How exciting to see the young talent coming through the squad here for New Zealand, but they were so patient with ball in hand, stretching it from width to width, and Dice Whaliafunga was on the receiving end and goes over, second touch on debut.
Well, you can see what an athlete she is. She's a contracted Black Ferns 15s member in New Zealand and has just been given a 7th contract in the last couple of weeks, and now on debut. Gets her first try. Converted 2, so New Zealand 7 points to 0. Great to hear the support for the Sakura Sevens, the Japanese team. Nathan Wong drives it downfield, nicely taken down by Okurora. Some time in possession here, Japan. Good order, wrestling to the ground, just held on a little bit too long. Nathan Wong, rather Hirani it was. And here Sarah Hirani sets them away, her team. Now it's Nathan Wong. The big ball, flat ball, off the chest of Waka. It was clever from Waka, the pass from Robbins-Retty, and now Stacey Walker just using her strength and all her nous to go in for New Zealand.
Stacey Walker in her 10th tournament on the World Series. She was the HSBC player of the final in Sydney earlier this year, but the hard work came from the captain, Sarah Hirani, with the turnover, and that's just player awareness on the field. Japan, they can't run into contact isolated into a player like Hirani. She's got the most turnovers for her side this season. 5.
Long off the post, can't convert this time, but New Zealand go 2 tries up. 12 points to 0. And they love it here in Kitakyushu. 2-time defending champions. And the tries already, 48. Oh, just going backwards, nicely done by Nakamura.
Ruby, look up! Back off, friend. Hold it, Dice! Hold it, Dice!
dragged towards the sideline and eventually taken into touch. It's a real wrestle, and Tui wants to play on and play on quickly. Not going to get the opportunity here. We'll get the free kick. You can see just the tempo New Zealand looking to play with.
And that came as a result of one of the Japanese players being in the 5-metre channel while New Zealand went to throw in the restart. So they'll get a free kick here.
New Zealand switching through. Robbins Reti had the ball in hand, wanted to pop it, and just a little bit loose. Tried to get it up over the top for Faliafunga.
Unlucky there for Robbins Reti. She looked sharp, but was in two minds there, whether she just carry or whether she pass it to her outside woman in the form of Faliafunga.
It's a massive opportunity for Robin Reti. She spent 6 months over here last year playing in Japan, trying to get some game time. Made the New Zealand development team and now has stepped up here this weekend. Well, Nathan Wong went too early, so a chance for Japan to play on, and it's Yumi Hirano, who's always a danger. Hirano, 3 tries here last year, but they've turned it over, New Zealand, and Williams might look to try and find Waka on the outside. Waka instead chopped back inside, accelerates through the gap. And it's unfortunate for Japan, who'd earned the turnover, and Stacey Walker grabs another.
Just goes to show how quickly the tables can turn in a game of sevens, but Stacey Walker, what an athlete. The carry came from Niall Williams, just drew in defenders and took the wide option with her carry. And the perfect timing for Stacey Walker to switch under on a J-line and just sneak her way in between the 2 defenders, and she was away. Gets herself a double in this match.
Stacey Walker was the player of the final in the Sydney final. Last time out as Nathan Wong converts. And New Zealand push ahead, 19 points to 0. Japan wants some hands-on ball. Play from Nathan Wong sends the kick off high, and towering Hirano's underneath it. Faliafunga tried to get there but knocked it on in the process. A let off for Japan.
Faliafunga with a good chase on for the restart, but just getting a hand on it. Probably should have left it, knowing that she wasn't going to be able to retain the ball. It's an attacking opportunity here for Japan, but they've still got so much work to do.
Hirano feeds. Can't quite get away from Nathan Wong, and has been wrapped up. It's able to get the ball to ground though. Did well, Hirano, as the siren goes for half-time. Japan trying to find some space, running into each other now. Don't need that when you've got the New Zealanders running at you. Looking to open up. Nakamura, she'll get them going forward as always. Sitting in the back four, Nagata stolen by Tui. Loses her footing, Ruby Tui. From nowhere, and it's opened up here for Faliafunga, a little away, doesn't really need it, going to try and get around. And New Zealand score from the turnover. Faliafunga's in for her second.
Not a bad way to make an impact on debut. Going over for a double in your first game, but the turnover came from Ruby Tui. The steal at the breakdown. And I thought she was in for all money, but just lost her footing there, and the identification to see 2 outside players and to get the ball off the ground, pop it off the ground there. Dice Faliafunga will have the last say leading into half-time.
Oh, Nathan Wong throws the head back. It was close, that conversion. Just away, though, so New Zealand 4 tries in the first half, and they go in 24-0 at the break.
アタックで、ボールキャリーもうちょっとだけ取ってくで、サポートもっと早く全然アタックしない、もう一回継続して我慢する場面も絶対あるから強くいってどんどん動かそう。はい、ゴー。最初タッチからね。バン。
Zealand 24 points to nil at half-time. A win in this match will equal their longest ever winning streak on the World Series of 37 matches in a row. Japan, territory in possession to try to create, get their wonderful supporters into this match as well. Nathan Wong, shallow of the restart, much too shallow. It's not going to go the 10 metres, so an error from New Zealand at the kickoff. That will give Japan some territory and possession.
And the first real attacking opportunity for Japan to work their way out of their own 50.
Hirano looking for a runner. Goes herself, Yumi Hirano through the gap, and then one way she switched them inside and out, and then goes in to the tackle of Nathan Wong. It's there for Japan. Matsuda lays it back. Nakamura trying to get around Faleafanga. Oh, ball knocked out. So close for Japan. What a bust from Hirano.
I love the confidence there from Hirano, Yumi Hirano, to take on the New Zealand line on her own. Little bit of footwork and she saw her way tearing up through the middle of the field. So unfortunate. Chiharu Nakamura, the captain, looks like one of the Kiwis might have just popped the ball out there.
Oh, the scramble defence. New Zealand had to hustle as Shakira Baker comes in to the action.
Time on.
Had any whispers to get here. Faleafanga and Waka to the bench for the Kiwis.
Fine.
See if Japan can put some pressure here on the New Zealand scrum. Nathan Wong clears. New Zealand working behind their own goal line. Williams hasn't got very far at all. Japan trying to get in over this ball. Instead, it's New Zealand's way. Oh, Alina Saili onto the field at number 12 for New Zealand. Trying to power her way out, and now it could open up for New Zealand if Tui can give it. Great spot tackle coming in from Japan, Kozasa. And now Baker. Japan hustling and scrambling on defence. Baker bumping out of tackles, going sideways. Saili trying to step. Again, Japan making their spot tackles. Brilliant defensive work. Penalty for New Zealand. Set to go. That's tough for Hirani to take. Japan coming up in the line. Sarah Hirani, the captain, skips out of a tackle, looks for her support, and she finds another of her old girls on the outside, and it will be Niall Williams in combination with her captain, Sarah Hirani, who busts open for New Zealand, and Niall Williams goes in under the posts.
Niall Williams, one of the veterans of this New Zealand outfit, with her 28th career try. But New Zealand, it's what they do so well, the composure to be in their red zone, needing a big exit play, and the urgency there from Japan in defence, putting the pressure on, committing to the rucks, and somehow they always manage to find their way out of trouble through patience, and it was the captain, Sarah Hirani, with a break up the field, and then Niall Williams in support. Beautiful stuff from the Kiwis.
Conversion is there for Tyler Nathan Wong. That will be her last act as she heads to the bench. 31 points to nil.
It's evident here, Japan, 10 missed tackles as opposed to New Zealand's 1, and it's reflected on the scoreboard.
Tanika Willison restarts for New Zealand, making her first appearance for New Zealand since Paris last year. First game of the season, the first tournament of the season rather, excuse me, for the World Series for Willison. Ranging out wide is the powerhouse Shakira Baker, bumping off tackle. Shakira Baker, oh, she's hard to put down, so strong. Tui clears. Kitamaki out there as well. Tarina Kitamaki on the wraparound and ghosting through herself. Kitamaki, she got the pace to get there, instead looks for Saili. She'll take them on. Can't find the ball inside again. Great scrambling defence by Japan. They stave off the New Zealand attack for now. Instead, New Zealand blowing over, and it's there for Willison. And a penalty. Kitamaki. Robin Fleti, Tui across the hands, through the hands. Hedoney's got Baker outside, and Shakira Baker strolls in for New Zealand.
A well-deserved try there for Shakira Baker, who came off the bench, but she's so hard to handle. So many tackle busts initially in the first few phases of play in this half, and she finally comes away with some points, and it was just simple catch pass. They had the numbers out wide.
So from out wide is Willison. Kick is away. Shakira Baker extends New Zealand's lead to 36 points to 0. Willison again looks to the right. Baker will be the target. Shakira Baker trying to get up under this kick. It's just hanging up in the wind, and Baker can't quite control it, and it's fallen nicely for Japan. Could have created something here. They're going to get a free kick from the knock-on, and they want to play on quickly. Not quite in the right spot, though. It was knocked on off the hands of Baker from the kick-off. Japan having to recover, I guess, too, from the disappointment of the Hong Kong qualifiers a couple of weeks ago, where they missed out on getting a place back on the World Series.
Crouch. Fine.
Exciting young team, two 17-year-olds out there.
We must match. Okay, so you need to come down a little bit and you need to come up to match, please. Reset.
See the size difference that they give up, really well illustrated there.
Bind. Set.
Nice tidy scrum from Japan, able to set away. Hirani wanted that, pulled out of it, so Yuko. Better from Japan here, and New Zealand gives away the penalty. Brianna Ferris it was, who's on there for her debut for New Zealand at number 10. Rushing up was Kitamaki. Robbins Retty makes a good tackle for New Zealand. Japan, continuity is good. Hirano, she's the little spark plug for them. Got to try and get those legs to ground. Oh, still there for Japan. They've done well. Suzuki. Yoko Suzuki wrestles a metre forward. Now some space out wide for the Japanese, one-on-one. The final period of play now. Huda's gone for full time and a penalty. Unfortunate for Japan. So Kitamaki, I was going to say, will tap and kick it out, but instead they decide to play on New Zealand and want one more. Spreading wide quickly to Saili, stepping off that left foot, bumping off one. Alina Saili then throws a loose ball and stitches up her mate Shane Robbins-Retty, still there for New Zealand. So Terena Kitamaki puts the head down. And now Baker gets rid of one. Shakira Baker's got support in field if she needs it from Willison, and it will be Tanika Willison in her return to the World Series. Grabs the final say in the match.
Clever little finishing touches there from New Zealand to close out their first game this weekend in Kitakyushu, and it was the work from Shakira Baker initially to break two tackles, and Tanika Willison just finds herself in support, shadowing the likes of Baker, and goes over.
So with the conversion of Tanika Willison, New Zealand extend the winning run to 37 matches on the World Series. And that is a tie of their previous record. They take this one 43 points to 0 and equal the record of 37, which went from 2014 through to May 2015. So that ends the first round of pool games. A lot of points scored, some excellent tries scored already. New Zealand and France, the winners from the first round in Pool A. Heading over to Pool B. Australia and Canada. Canada made to work really hard by Spain in their opening match, however. And in Pool C, this very challenging point in Pool C, USA and Ireland really laying down the gauntlet in that pool with 2 very impressive wins each in Pool C. These are some of the players who are standing out early. Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe scored 3 tries in her opening match before Ireland. Kaylee Lucan outstanding for Canada. Hamidova always there or thereabouts for Russia. Players making an impact, the DHL impact player. Well, I did say plenty of tries being scored. 43 tries already notched up in the first 6 matches of this tournament. That means there is going to be plenty more coming as we head into the afternoon in Kitakyushu. We'll be back here in 25 minutes' time for round 2.